Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fasio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. Sportsline trivia for this Monday, July the 8th. Of course, if you're watching this one on Comcast on Thursday evening, you get a couple of days kickback on that one. But again, welcome to the program. We talk sports, we give away prizes, and we just have a good old time, as they say. Bob Tavern here. Thank you for tuning in. Mike Pavlik joins me tonight. Mike, since last we spoke, we've had some moves made by the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have made... And some of their free agents have made moves as well.
Matt Cook is gone, but I believe that's the only one. Matt Cook Jerome McGinley indeed signed with Boston, which is very ironic. Brendan Morrow, nothing on that one yet, but the Penguins don't have any room to sign anybody right now. They are only $676,000 under the salary cap.
But that could change within a week or so.
There's $676,000 under the salary cap, and they've committed $2.1 million to their restricted free agents. They're over the cap.
Okay, well.
Someone has to go. At least a someone, and maybe a couple someones.
All right. Folks, that and the Pirates, of course, we're talking here on a Monday night. You could be watching this on Thursday, but not getting timely hitting when runners are in scoring position and we lose another one to the Cubbies.
You can make that statement 4 Thursdays from now and it'll still be true.
Yeah. And Harrison goes from the Cubs.
Why couldn't they have traded him on Friday? He goes to the Nationals, which is perfect. The Pirates have 4 against the Nationals coming up after the All-Star break. I'm sure he'll be there and ready to go against all the lefties the Pirates throw up there. That's why they got him.
Right.
Because right now, the Nationals got to catch the Pirates or the Reds, and they have those 4 games coming up after the All-Star break, and I'm telling you, the Pirates chances are you face the Pirates, you could see 3 lefties. In a 4-game series, Scott Hairston hits left-handed pitching, so we'll see.
So there you are, things to chat about tonight. A couple of people here in the audience, so we'll give them an opportunity. We do have Terry standing by on the phone, and we'll kick us off here momentarily, but we want to do rules and regulations on winning prizes here in the program. So let's take a look at that right now. You can win a prize every other week at your household address. You can win a Grand Salami prize or the Mystery Profile once in a calendar month. And you can try the Mystery Profile only once in a calendar month. You get 15 seconds for the multiple choice, 20 seconds for the Grand Salami, and the Mystery Profile goes clue by clue. First-time callers with a correct answer will get more than 1 prize. And answers to the trivia questions are on my website, doubledribblebob.com. And we work hard at doing a radio show as well, and that's every Saturday, WAVL in Apollo, Pittsburgh, actually, with the strength of their signal. Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock, tune in to my sports history and sports nostalgia program. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll come back, and we'll talk sports with Terry. Will kick us off tonight. I shouldn't phrase it that way. Terry will start things off tonight.
He will begin, yes.
Back in a moment, folks. Stay aboard. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fasio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fasio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fasio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Toronto and Freeport Road at Trona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. Good to have you with us. We've got a quick reminder before we jump to Terry's phone call. The Riverside Drive-In Poker Run Bands and Movies is coming up Saturday, July the 27th. And it's a big biker event, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
And registration will take place, $25 per vehicle and driver, $5 for the passenger. You get the poker run, or a couple of live bands to play, dinner, and a couple of movies. Big event coming up here for the Riverside Drive-In on Saturday, July 27th. And there are other activities for those who just want to go to the movies only, and special prices as well.
And if I have this right, and not being a biker myself, but I do have friends that are. That I believe on these poker runs, you have different designated stops, and you get a card at each stop.
A card?
A card, and then you build a hand.
Oh.
And by the time you get back to the Riverside, you have your 5 cards.
That you're going to start the game with.
And that is your hand.
I'll be done.
And they'll give away prizes commensurate to. I see on the thing here there are 4 aces right here. It's like you're hoping to get that. It's like you don't have to go to the 5th stop. You turn around and head back. But it sounds like, it does sound like a good time. Bands, movies, the whole thing. And if you just want to do the movies, you can do that. RiversideDriveIn.com. I'm sure
that's the best, yeah.
More information,
That's
go
best,
there, and you'll probably have.
And they're giving they're doing a new digital conversion, whatever that is.
So to keep the drive-in going, and
Right.
they need to convert everything over to digital. Saturday, July 27th. If you're not doing anything and you're a biker, this is a great idea.
Even if you're not a biker, go to the movies.
You can still go to the movies, and it's cheap. It's if you just want to go to the movies afterwards, it's $8 for adults, $3 for kids 11 and under, and free for kids under 5 years old.
Yeah.
So,
And it's for good cause.
and it is for a good cause because come on, drive-ins.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the great. Is a great piece of Americana, and people like I remember where the former Wards and Pennies are falling down right now, even as we speak in Lower Borough. That used to be a drive-in. Family drive-in right there, and there was also down in Parnassus. There was a Gateway Drive-in was down there.
Yeah, which is where McDonald's is
Which is
sitting.
right about, right, where Steve Wiener
Just about.
works, right? So, exactly. So, let's.
Steve got a mention tonight. All right, let's
seen
go to
Steve.
Terry. Let's go to Terry. Terry. Good evening.
Good evening, guys.
Hi, Terry.
Hey, you think that the drive-in up there along the Kiski River is the last one in Pennsylvania, or are there any others?
There is a drive-in in Moon Township, the Dependable Drive-in in Moon, and it is right parallel with the airport in Moon, headed back on the opposite side of Robert Morris and the opposite side of if you're heading down and you make the right to get onto to the main drag, and you hit it off of 60 heading toward Beaver. You can go the back way to Beaver Valley that way.
I had a playoff game around there this past basketball season. We went all the way out to Moon.
You at the Moon?
And we went by the,
It's right across the street, really, actually, the high school, Moon High School is right across the street, but it is there, and it runs, and the thing about the Dependable, it runs all year round. It runs even in the wintertime, I'm told. So, because I had asked the same question, because there was a little par 3 out there. There's Scally's is really nice, and it's on the other side of the road, but there's another golf course right there, and I saw the back of the thing and asked the guys I was with, hey, it looks like a drive-in, is this thing still running? I got the next 2 holes, I got the whole story.
Hey, you got two things for you tonight. First of all, did you hear about the referee incident in soccer down in Brazil?
I did not.
Okay, the ref was 20 years old. He gave a player who was 30 years old a red card for some violation and threw him out of the game. The player didn't like it. They got into a tussle, fisticuffs erupted, and the referee pulled out a knife and stabbed the guy. So they hauled him off to the hospital. In the meantime, the fans came out, or his relatives or something, and tied him up, put him on the ground, waiting for the cops to come, I guess. When they found out that the player died on the way to the hospital, they stoned this guy to death, the referee.
They stoned him to death?
They stoned him to death, and then they dismembered him and stuck his head on a big stick. So,
in 2013, that's unbelievable.
That's soccer for you, South American soccer.
My goodness.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
And let me guess, the game continued. I don't know.
I don't know.
Terry, I did a story on my website. I'll make this as quick as I can. But down in South America, they were trying to figure out how to take care of the riotous fans when something like this would come up. They built back in 1950, now this is how long this rioting and this kind of activity has been going on. They built a stadium that holds 200,000 people, 170 to 175 seating, and the rest is standing room only. But what they did with the soccer field, they built a moat around it. It is rather deep and it is rather spacious. They have a drawbridge. The players and the officials get on the field, they pull the drawbridge, and if you try to scale it, you're going down into the tank.
Yeah, there you go.
In the drink.
Put some crocodiles in there and make it all.
That would make it interesting.
At least.
Unbelievable.
The other thing was, I noticed that the Indians tonight are playing Detroit. They're playing Detroit's pitching that Scherzer fellow that's 13-0. And I looked at his ERA, 3.02, so he is hittable. But that reminded me of Elroy Face's record, that 18-1 season, which was by far not his best effort because he kept giving up runs, but then the Pirates would come back and he'd get the win. But this is kind of interesting. Here we've got 13-0 guy, and Elroy was 18-0 at one time, and they both have relatively high ERAs for what you would expect for that kind of a win performance.
And you really got to be, as a relief pitcher, as Face was, you almost have to be bad to get an 18-1 record when you're the closer.
Yeah, which he was then that year. It was an off year for him.
Right. I mean, now Scherzer, on the other hand, at least he's starting these games, and he's 13-0, and who's pitching for the Indians tonight? Casimir, I think.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, that was a big win for them yesterday because I had turned it off and then came back, and when I saw that the Tigers had tied the game, it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be trouble here. If they would have seriously, if they would have lost yesterday, that might have been it.
Yeah.
Because they're like the Pirates in the fact that they kind of hang around for a little bit, and then their fade usually starts a little earlier than the Pirates does. So this is right about the time that usually happens for the Indians.
Sure.
And I would have been worried, but if they come back and get a split, you're right in touch. You're a game and a half out.
Yeah.
And the Tigers have really underachieved, and the Tigers bullpen is just not good. And until they do something to shore that up, I don't think they're going to run away from anyone.
No, that's right. That's right. It's a weak division, competitive weak division, competitive among themselves. But I'm not sure whoever gets into the playoffs from the AL Central, if they're going to go anywhere.
I liken the Tigers to the New England Patriots. That the Tigers will win the division. And I always say about the AFC East, somebody has to finish second. And it doesn't. And with the fact that there really is no other strong team in those divisions, that the team that is going to win the division every year never has to make an effort to get any better. And then I really think that's hurt the Patriots. They don't have to beat anyone out to win that division. And the Tigers are kind of the same way. There is no one that they have to beat. Their talent is enough that they're going to show up and you play the games out and no major injuries, you win it.
Yep, exactly right.
And I think it hurts those teams in the long run.
Yeah, I don't think I qualify for trivia this week, do I?
No, we were just talking about that.
I wanted to ask, did you get the prize?
Oh, yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll give you an email about that. But he did come, yes.
Okay. Well, that's good, and we're thankful that you called. Appreciate your contribution tonight.
Thanks, Terry, as always. Go Tribe.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for everything, guys.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Now, guys, we have another caller. All right, Rich, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
We're good.
I'll tell you, it's just, I don't know what to do with myself. The Pirates lost 2 series in a row. I'm surprised the sun came up this morning. It's just unbelievable. It's funny because you can tell we're in a town that hasn't seen a winner in 20 years because people have no idea how to handle a 162-game season. You're going to have ups and downs. That's the way it goes. You're not going to win 17 games every month.
Rich, let me ask you to pause for just a sec. We can't hear for the scratchiness, gang. Somebody in the control. There we go. Okay, Rich, I'm sorry. Back up a little bit.
Ups and downs. I think I got it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was just going to tell you how, I'm just so depressed that we lost 2 series in a row. I don't know what to do with myself,
Yeah.
I mean, we have...
Here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it. Is I don't know if this is it, but I'm pretty sure it's coming. So
You mean dropping into the tank?
Sure. I'm pretty sure it's coming. I just don't know if this is it yet.
It's not coming. It's not coming.
This could be it.
This isn't it. I mean, come on now. Now, I know we haven't had a winner in 20 years, but you're old enough. You're my age. You can remember back what it's like to play for 162 games, and you're going to have sections where you do bad and other sections where you do good. And,
Absolutely.
You're not going to win 17 games every month, people. Sorry, and not going to happen.
And you win 9 in a row, you're going to have a down spell. And
Right.
a good thing about if this was it, the good thing about it is that they didn't go 0-6.
Well, and let me say this.
So no, I agree with you 100%. But the point I'm making is this: when I have the same group of players that did it 2 years in a row, and they've established a track record, why wouldn't I think it was coming?
Oh, I know, I understand. But
I don't have this, and I had somebody tell me the other day, but this looks different. No, it doesn't. It looks exactly the same as the last 2 years. Last year was a little bit better than the year before, and this year's a little bit better than last year. But that doesn't mean it isn't coming.
But you know what, Rich? We could have taken one game in each of those series with timely hitting. A couple of the games we had bases in one game in particular, I think twice, we had the bases loaded, didn't get anybody in. We either had first and third or second and third, couldn't get them in, less than 2 outs, okay?
Right,
We
absolutely.
were that close in picking up, let's say, one more win over the Phillies and another win over Chicago.
The way I look at this is the pitching is fine. I mean, there's nothing to be concerned with there at all. AJ Burnett looked like he never missed a beat yesterday.
Sure.
The thing is, look, offensively, especially, this isn't an old team, guys. This is a young team. There's going to be ups and downs. And offensively, there's going to be times where everything finds a spot where nobody is. And there's going to be times when everything finds a spot where someone always is. And then right now, they're finding the spots where someone's always there. There were so many hard-hit balls in that Phillies series. One of those finds an opening, they probably sweep that series. But that's the way baseball goes, and there's nothing you can do about that.
They were out-hit by the Phillies is what happened, and that's why they didn't win. Yesterday, and as I was watching the game, and with the people I was watching the game with, that the ball Marte hit out in the 9th inning for a home run was the 3rd hard-hit ball they had the whole game.
Right.
They hit 3 balls hard the whole game yesterday. So there wasn't anything about finding any holes yesterday. They hit 3 balls hard against bad pitching. And I'm sorry, but the point is going to come when you're right about the pitching. The pitching is in a lot better shape than it was last year, just because if you line each guy up and look at who they had doing it last year, this group of pitchers is much more apt to continue on and pitch well. But the thing that does happen is that you do, in August and September, you do wear down some, and they're not going to be able to be as dominant as they've been the first 3 months of the season, and you're going to have to hit to win some games. And all that they have done with this offense is added Russell Martin, which is an upgrade, and there's no complaints here. And I sat here and said it when they got him. I was thrilled with it.
And he made one bad play.
Well, they have a Sterling Marte who's now a year in the league.
He's better. All they've done is added Russell Martin to a team that was 14th in the league in runs, 14th in the league in OPS last year, and this year they're 12th. They're not a good offensive baseball team. They weren't last year. They're not this year. And the reason that they're winning is because their pitching's been so good. If that falls off at all, it's going, because there's no. Look at Garrett Jones. He has 6 home runs. I mean, come on. I mean, that was your cleanup hitter.
But they don't have to dominate the rest of the year to do well. I mean, they're 19 games over. They play 500. They're fine.
They were 16 games over. Yeah, we could have said the same thing sitting here last year at the same time. If they had played 500, they'd have been fine.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's absolutely true. But I'm going to say this, that the pitching is not like it was last year, and part of the problem last year was the pitching collapse.
The problem last year, see, here's my point. You can pick and say, oh, it was the pitching, it was the problem last year was the pressure got too much for them and they couldn't take it. And how has that changed is my question. Well, it's never going to change. There's pressure every year. Well, are they going to be able to deal with it?
Well, okay, so all right, let me ask you this. So if you say it's pressure, then this team will never finish above 500, do anything, and so just fold up the tents and go home. Well, it's never going to happen.
With this particular group of players, maybe.
Well, then what's the point? Because this particular group of players is going to be here for years. They're not going anywhere.
Not really. Not really. I mean, this particular group of players is Andrew McCutcheon and Starling Marte, really.
And Neil Walker and Pedro Alvarez?
Well, not necessarily Neil Walker. Pedro Alvarez, yeah, those three.
You don't think Neil Walker will be here for years?
Not necessarily.
Oh, my gosh, come on. I mean, I'm not saying he's the greatest second baseman of all time, but they're going to keep him. He's a Pittsburgh guy. And not that that's the reason to keep him, that's why they'll keep him.
That they haven't extended his contract yet? That you would thought that maybe they would have by now?
Well, I bet you they keep. I mean, I'm not saying I don't think Neil Walker's great, but I mean, I think he's fine for a second baseman. If he was, playing a different position, we could argue that. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not really too worried about it. But I mean, if people want to jump off the bridge, please go ahead. We could use less population around here, anyways. But
oh, we need more population.
I'm fine with that. But I'm just not concerned about it. I mean, there's ups and downs. I remember the early '90s. Heck, I remember the late '70s. There's ups and downs.
Oh, sure. But when yeah, exactly. And you're able to ride those out a little bit more. Now, I'm just as a fan's perspective. Watching what I watched the last 2 years, I'm not going to, and you're not going to know anything until, and here's what it happens, is the 100th game is about, they've hit their high water mark in game 100 each of the last 2 years they have been at it. Now, they may have gotten to it before and then played 500 for a week or two to stay there, but game 100 was their high water mark, and maybe a week or so after they were still at that mark. But what does that coincide with? That coincides with when the trading deadline comes, and that's when the heat gets turned up. This has nothing to do with talent. They're plenty talented enough to make the playoffs. This team. Last year they were plenty talented enough to make the playoffs. They couldn't handle it, and I don't know what you do to get them over that hump. Or to cross that bridge. I mean, they're trying different things, and I give Hurdle credit for trying different things as far as, okay, now we're just going to worry about tomorrow's game. But when it comes right down to it, are they going to be able to get past that point where it all started to fall apart on them the last 2 years and look at it, sneer at it, and just move on?
No, the only way you get past that point is to get past that point. There's no magic. There's no... some great thing happen. You just get past that point, and if you can do it, you do it.
And Rich, all winning teams have to go through it. And
right.
And eventually, and we may look back at this and say, well, there it was. They figured it out. And then you have a contending team for the next X amount of years.
It's just, I know you got to go, but I'll wrap this up. It's just like when I read in some of these media people, when a guy gets called up for the first time in the major leagues, and what's wrong with him? He's not hitting 400 home runs. He's not striking everybody out. Well, of course he's not, because it's a learning process. You come up and you learn. You have to learn how to face major league pitching. You have to learn how to face major league batters. You have to learn the entire lifestyle. And to me, when you're trying to have a winning team, you have to learn how to win. and you have to learn how to come through those low times and not get too high in the high times.
Right, and for the people that, the people that say, hey, they're 21 games over 500, it doesn't mean a thing, it doesn't mean a thing right now, and it won't for about a
Well, it doesn't. It's like you're up by a run and there's two guys on that, or you're up by 2 runs and there's a guy on, that run doesn't mean anything. It's just like that. It's 21 games under in July, whoopee ding, be 21 games over in September. That's where it counts.
That's when you'll know.
Rich, you're eligible for trivia, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me ask what type of question you're going to go with.
I always do mystery profile. I don't know if it's like me losing every week, but I'll try it again.
You can only try once a month. Did you try
I tried earlier. I'll do how about, do you still have the grand salami?
Did you try it in July?
No.
No, last week, no, that was
That was
Terry.
still June, yeah.
That was Terry.
Right, yeah, that was still June
Okay.
anyway, Monday.
Here's what I
July
need to
1st.
do, because this is going to take a couple of minutes. We're about 4 minutes behind with a commercial. Can you wait?
Sure.
You don't mind?
No.
All right. We're going to take a break, and Mike and I will come back right after this. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a 4th generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from 2 locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Reachburg Road, Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Reachburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Faldarelli Square. And our Sportsline Mystery Profile, sponsored by Mattio's Pizza and Subs in Brackenridge Heights. Everything on Mattio's menu is made with quality ingredients. Their hand-tossed pizzas, their hero sandwiches, subs and hoagies, calzones and strombolis, wingdings, and of course their signature sandwich, the Iron Man Hoagie. Give them a call. That's Mattio's Pizza, Broadview Boulevard in Brackenridge Heights at 724-904-7312. Rich, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, I'm going to give you the first clue. This is worth $100 in prizes. Are you watching now, or?
Yeah, but there's a big delay, so you go ahead.
Oh, there's a big delay. Okay.
Yeah.
I am a Hall of Famer whose mother was an evangelist and a lifelong member of the Salvation Army. Now, I'm going to be fair to you, a baseball Hall of Famer.
Right. Kind of figured that one. Wow, lifelong member of the Salvation Army. Mickey Mantle.
No. All right, let's go to number 2, which is worth now $75. After I retired as a player, I managed in Big League Baseball.
Yogi Berra.
No, we'll go down again. Now it's worth $50. I got on base 48 times out of every 100 times I stepped into the batter's box.
Wow.
Hall of Famer.
And he managed.
Right.
Pete Rose.
No. That was Mike's guess, right?
No,
you got it.
we threw it out to one of the audience people because he couldn't win this week, and now that's what he said. That was
Okay. Here is your fourth clue. I was the last major leaguer to hit over 400 in a single season.
Ted Williams.
You got it.
He managed. I didn't realize he managed.
He managed the Washington Senators and then the first couple years of the Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't realize he managed. That's a good one. I like that one.
And he hated it because he couldn't understand why he would tell them what to do and they just wouldn't do it because he was so good at it. He was
Right.
You know,
He saw everything that much better than they did.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, Rich, I got a bonus for you.
All right.
And I wanted to do this with Terry, but he won last week.
Right.
So you were the first person eligible anyway. I've got a $25 gift certificate to the Torrenton Station.
Ooh, that's nice down there.
If you can answer this quick, and nobody knows in the control room, so it's not going to be on the screen.
Okay.
So listen carefully, you've got 10 seconds. The quarterback who threw the first touchdown pass in the history of the old AFL is also the first signal caller to throw for 3,000 yards in a single season. Name him.
Daryl LaMonica.
No, but the name ends in the same rhythm, so to speak. Frank Tripucka.
Wow, okay.
You remember
What team
his
did he
son?
play for?
You remember his son Kelly?
He played for Denver.
Well, he played at Notre Dame, his college ball.
As a matter of fact, yeah, Kelly played for the Pistons of Notre Dame, but Frank Tripucka wore number 18 for the Broncos, and Peyton Manning asked him if he could use it, and it was retired.
Oh.
Peyton Manning had to ask him if he could use it. And unfortunately for Frank, he has Alzheimer's, and he said yes. So I don't know what had to do with what, but somebody had said that was kind of unfair to even ask, because, you know, you didn't know what kind of a day you were going to get him on. But supposedly he was, you know, that the people around him said, no, he's fine today. And he said, no, go.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you a question before I go.
Go ahead.
Get you a little more fired up.
I'm fine.
What's the point in drafting all these defensemen if you're going to waste $13 million and bring in a 34-year-old back?
I love Rob Scuderi. In each individual move, I can make a case for that they did. But the part that I don't understand is, why would you want to bring the same team back when it wasn't good enough?
I don't know either.
Now, you've improved yourself by bringing Scuderi in. No doubt about that. That's basically Scuderi in for Douglas Murray. That's an upgrade. Okay, I get it. But each individual move, okay, maybe. But when Ray Shiro had his post-drubbing press conference after they were embarrassed by the Boston Bruins, but doesn't get said enough, by the way, that they scored 2 goals in 4 games, and I guess that's good enough.
Right.
We're supposed to think that that's good enough.
Right.
He said, one of the first things he said was, I want to get younger. Well, I guess older is the new younger.
I guess, because I don't understand the whole idea of, well, first of all, to me, defense was not the problem. The problem was you couldn't score.
Two.
And I guess now they want to make everything a one. I don't understand it. And the thing is, they have tons of defensemen in their minor leagues. They have guys that are right on the cusp of playing. They even said Simone Dupre, he's a 4th guy. He's our 4th guy. Well, then why'd you sign Scuderi? I don't understand the whole thing.
They have to trade at least one of those guys.
Well, Niskanen's going to have to go.
Well, but that's not even enough money. See, that's what everybody's saying. That's $2.3 million. And that's assuming you trade him for a draft pick and don't get a player back.
Right.
There's not, it's going to have to be Orpik or Martin. I don't be surprised if it's Martin. Because Martin basically played himself into being tradable again.
Unless they trade Fleury.
Hey, we got to go.
Okay, guys, thanks.
Thanks, Rich.
All right, Rich, we'll get your other plays out to you.
We have news, breaking news here on Sportsline.
Oh.
The Home Run Derby roster's been announced.
Oh.
And everybody was very interested about Pedro being in the Home Run Derby. I will read you. David Wright, the captain from the New York Mets, is the captain of the Home Run Derby, and he picks, I guess with some help from the National League, the players. They are Carlos Gonzalez of Colorado, Bryce Harper of Washington, and Mike Kadire of Colorado. No Pedro. A.J. Burnett tweets, and I quote, "Will somebody explain to me how the blank family show Pedro Alvarez is not in the Home Run Derby? Does the National League not want to win?"
Amen.
There you go.
All right, we have Mark on the phone. Mark, good evening.
Good evening, fellas.
Hey, Mark.
When Pittsburgh plays in England in September, is that considered a home game for Pittsburgh or Minnesota?
It's a home game for the Vikings. The Steelers would have never given up that home game.
Okay, so Pittsburgh will get their 8 home games then.
Steelers get their 8 home games, and that's a Vikings home game. That is correct, and they'll have a bye week right after.
Now, does Minnesota get more money, or the share? Or do
They might. Yeah, they might. I'm
They
not
don't
sure.
really give details on stuff.
No,
like
but
that.
Okay.
Well, I guess Jacksonville has volunteered to play 1 game a year over there. So there will be 2, and Jacksonville is going to play 1 home game in London every year.
Every year.
Yes. Well, nobody cares in Jacksonville, so nobody goes there anyway. They probably get more fans in London.
Yeah, see, you'll be
Okay,
there.
and that Hernandez incident in New England, they said he's still got $9 million. Is that true? Out of his $12 million signing bonus?
Oh, there's maybe. I never really looked too deeply into his contractual status. I know that there was some talk that that the Patriots may try to recover that money somehow. That they may go some sort of
really makes sense.
legal route to try to get that money back. But
I mean, if he was to be found, say, not guilty, what's in their clauses where they can just drop you? Is there some other kind of clause?
they basically, I saw Kraft was quoted today as saying that they decided that anyone that is close enough to a murder investigation to get charged with anything, they were going to cut him right away. Even if it was just conspiracy or the cover-up, obstruction of justice after, that he said that they were going to cut him right away. In a situation like that, you basically, okay, if something, if he comes back to us, the Patriots, and sues for what he thinks that we owe him, then we'll just fight that in court, which is, I'm sure, what they're going to do. But they obviously weren't too worried about it, and that's a good move by the Patriots.
And then changing the subject again, they were saying the Pirates never beat the Oakland A's in the regular season.
Yeah, I just saw it on here that it's 9-0. It's the only team that has not beaten another team since interleague play has begun. It's 9-0. The Pirates have never beaten the A's.
Well, then the old Bob Prince's hidden vigorish, they should have a chance then.
Exactly.
Pittsburgh ought to win. Well, okay, I better go for my multiple choice then.
Let's do it. Let's start out. This will be number 6. Here we go, Mark.
Yep.
Okay.
What pitcher has won the most Gold Glove awards? What pitcher won the most Gold Gloves? Jim Cott, Bob Gibson, Greg Maddux, Bobby Shantz.
How about Bob Gibson?
It is not Bob Gibson.
No.
The answer is Greg Maddux.
Stay on the
So
line.
long.
Hang in there a minute, Mark.
Who did he guess again?
He guessed Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson? Okay. All right, Mark, we got a bonus question for you.
Okay.
This is good for a $25 gift certificate from the Tarentum station. I'm giving you no help.
Okay.
You've got 10 seconds to respond. It's not going to be on the screen, so listen carefully. What future Hall of Famer did Casey Stengel manage when this future Hall of Famer was a rookie? And then 23 years later, Casey Stengel happened to be on the same team and managed him again.
Willie Mays.
Nope. Warren Spahn.
Oh, okay.
Good try, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, fellas. Have a good night.
All right, we're going to take a break, and Mike and I are coming back in a moment. Stay with us.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tatter's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Murray's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough.
Tower Auto Sales, now with 40 years of experience at the same location. Allow Tower Auto Sales to help you in the selection of your next pre-owned vehicle. That's Tower Auto Sales. Just buy it. Give Mike Fandle a call at 412-828-6202. All right, what are we going to do now, Mike?
First of all, I wanted to say that with David Wright as the captain of the Home Run Derby, guess where the Mets play this weekend?
Colorado.
No, they play in Pittsburgh. Do you think maybe that the Pirate fans are going to hear about this selection? Maybe. Could that be ugly? Robinson Cano is to this day booed every time he comes to bat in Kansas City because he didn't take Billy Butler. David, this was not very well thought out by David Wright, who's a fine fellow. He really is, a fine ball player.
But he just screwed up.
This is gonna not be pretty. It really isn't. And crossed, there's nothing wrong in crossed Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah.
They love to boo people. They'd almost rather boo somebody than cheer somebody.
Chris, you want to take a shot? You ready for some comments?
Thank you.
All right, we're going to jump into our audience here. Do we have another caller as well?
You want to take the call the first, Bob? We'll go ahead.
And who would that be? Oh, you know what, Rich, or Chris, hold on, because he did tell me who. Rich was on the phone here before. Rich, thank you for calling. Welcome to the show. My apologies to Chris. Chris, we're going to get you up here shortly.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Rich, how are you?
Good. Hey, Bob Walker already has Pittsburgh and Cleveland in the World Series.
Who hasn't? Bob Walker.
Bob Walker.
Well,
I'll tell you what, if I could go to sleep tonight, okay, and wake up and it would be October 1st and the Pirates were in the playoffs, I'd be happy that I didn't have to suffer through the last 3 months. Let's put it that way. I don't know that I'm going to be able to enjoy this.
That pitching tonight should be a good matchup.
Yeah, Jeff Locke, you get two All-Stars. That's rare, really. How often does that really happen, that you have two people named to the All-Star team before the All-Star game actually pitching against each other? It should be. That Bartolo Colon's quite a story. Whatever that is, he injects in himself to what he does. So he's been suspended once, I think. So he's found the fountain of youth. And he's done a great job for the A's. The A's are a great story. They hit the ball. And one thing about them, they don't have a lot of names that maybe a lot of National League fans might not recognize a lot of these guys. Mm-hmm. But they hit the ball, they get on base, and they score a lot of runs. And they're going to be a tough matchup for the Pirates here these next 3 days.
This Moss that they have, that's the one the Pirates had years ago?
Oh, yeah, that's Brandon Moss, all right, that we couldn't wait to get out of here because he was so terrible, and he's hitting a lot of home runs for them. Now, his average isn't great. I think he's hitting in the 230s, but he's been terrific for them at playing first base, some outfield, DHing occasionally, and he's another one. They got Josh Reddick off the Red Sox, who really the Red Sox really didn't want any parts of, and he's been a star for them. They have a third baseman named Josh Donaldson, who's just outstanding, who, frankly,
I just heard something about him the other week.
Surprisingly, he didn't make the All-Star team, and people were wondering, about that he, another really good ball player they have. And Jonas Cespedes, the Cuban defector that they signed to a big multi-million-dollar contract. It's a solid team. They won the division last year. Nobody expected it, and they're back for more.
Hey, Curtis Bourbon that plays for the Cubs, is that Pedro's son?
You know, I don't know if he's related to Pedro or not. He played for the Braves, Julio did. There was another Pedro Bourbon that was a pitcher that was Pedro Bourbon, the Cincinnati pitcher's son, that played, probably within the last 10 years or so. I'm not sure about Julio. He's a former Brave. I can look him up, though.
Yeah. We'll check it out, Rich.
Okay, I guess I'm ready for trivia. I'll take the multiple choice.
All right. Rich is going to try.
I'll look up Julio while you
Okay.
guys are
You've got question number 7, am I correct, guys? Yes. Okay, here we go. Name the only pitcher to win 7 consecutive World Series starts. That's important. The only pitcher to win 7 consecutive World Series starts. Jim Palmer, Bob Gibson, Whitey Ford, Dave McNally.
I must say Bob Gibson.
And you are correct. Rich, you still have a shot at the Trenton station. We didn't give it away yet, did we? Did we give it away yet to the other? We haven't.
No.
We haven't done that yet.
And Rich, Julio Bourbon is not Pedro Bourbon's son.
Okay.
Checked out. Verified.
Okay. You ready, Rich?
Yes.
Since 1920, what pitcher has recorded the most shutouts in one season? You got 10 seconds.
Frankie Frisch.
Would you believe it was Bob Gibson?
Bob Gibson again.
Mike, thanks for trying, Rich.
How weird was that, huh?
We're trying to give it away, man. Appreciate you calling here tonight.
Thanks, Rich.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get Chris up here now. Chris has been up and down, awaiting his turn to chat with us, and you have not won in a while, right?
Right.
You're eligible
Yes, I am.
this week. Okay.
Well, look at it this way. I was up and down like I was in the Catholic Church, so I'm used to it. So let's go into tribute. What I'm trying to think here is the Pirates don't want to actually. They have the money. They don't want to spend the money. I think the best deal with the thing is to leave it alone. If we can build ourselves up, fine. If we get to collapse, we haven't lost anything. What do you think on that?
Well, I don't know.
Pirate fans are getting impatient.
Pirate fans are impatient.
Especially when you were at one time 22 games above.
21.
Was it 21?
21, yes. They've lost 2. But like Rich Redmond said earlier, this could just be a blip and then they just move on. Because you're going to have ups and downs during a baseball season. You can't let the losing streaks be as longer than the winning streaks.
Okay, now, if you were a Boston Red Sox fan, which they did win in 04,
Twice. They won in 03 or 04 and 07.
Okay.
Yeah, they won twice.
but they went from the year that they traded or sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees, all that way into the 2000s before they won a pennant. How patient can you be in Boston? There's one. Chicago the Cubs haven't had a winner since
1908.
Billy Siennas took a billy goat to the World Series. And when they kicked him out,
And they haven't been to the World
He
Series
put
I
his
think, since 1945 is the last time they went to the World Series, but they haven't won it since 1908.
so the guy with the goat put a curse on the team. He has since passed away, but the Cubs are not there into the World Series. And the nephew of this guy who had the goat went on one of the, if not more than one, the late night comedy shows with like Johnny Carson or whatever. And he tried lifting the curse. Nothing's happened.
No.
So, would you rather be a Pirate fan,
Better ball players.
a Red Sox fan, or a Cubs fan in that light?
I'd like to be a Cubs fan in that case.
A Cubs fan?
Yes. Because the Cubs are getting stronger against the Pirates right now.
The Cubs have been cheap historically, that the Cubs will spend. Now, that may change now with new ownership, I don't know, but the Cubs have been, one of the big complaints of Cub fans is that all the TV money they have from their own station and a big market and all the advantages that you think that they would have in Chicago is that they really haven't spent commensurate to that level.
Like the Yankees.
That's been an issue. Now they're stripping it apart. They're going to try to build back up in a nice little 5-year plan. And I figure they've waited 105 years. What's 5 more?
Or Houston. Has Houston ever won the World Series?
No, Houston only went there one time.
And
Lost to the White Sox,
right.
yeah, but,
How would you like to be a Houston Astros fan? Plus,
that's-
you get kicked
that's
over
really
to
bad.
American.
yeah, extortion, yeah, we'll let you
Caused
buy
us
the
to get
team.
a five-team division this year because of that. In a way,
I mean, somebody had to go.
yeah, they could have done us a favor in a way because
If that was the goal.
we probably wouldn't have, if it wasn't for Houston moving out of there, we probably wouldn't be in first place right now.
Oh, we may have more wins, you never know, they could have actually.
Yeah, but Houston's probably just in the same condition we were years ago, because they're not playing that great of baseball this year.
No, they're not very good. Their uniforms are nice. They've really upgraded their uniforms, that's about the best I can do.
Well, I mean, everybody's gonna have an off year. I mean, let's look at this way. The salary cap, like you said, the salary cap, they have the money, they can put that money in the bank right now, and I think it'd be safer.
That may be what happens, but now you can't be inconsistent, because you're the one that says that you don't want them to mess with the chemistry. So you don't want them to go out and do anything because you don't want to mess with the chemistry, but that also means they're not going to be spending any more money. So pick a side. I mean, I see your point, but
I said put the money away for
I think
now.
they're scared to death to mess with the chemistry. I really don't know that this has anything to do with finances. Now, if a byproduct is they don't spend any more money, that's probably just as well. But
When you
Trivia time, Chris. Let's do some trivia.
All right. Multiple choice, please.
All right. Mike, is it yours or?
It is. Let's go.
Okay.
name the Hall of Famer who holds the record for hitting into the most double plays.
Triple plays.
Triple plays, I said. What Hall of
It says
Famer
triple plays.
holds the record for hitting into the most triple plays? Mel Ott, Johnny Mize, Tim McCarver, Brooks Robinson.
Mel Ott.
It is not Mel Ott. It is Brooks Robinson,
Okay.
who
Thank you
hit
guys very
many triple plays.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, thank you very much.
Who knew?
All right, we're going to take a break, and then Paul's going to be coming up here to the microphone.
Sure.
So let's do the break. It's our final break of the evening. Back in a moment. Sportsline Trivia continues in a moment.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380 Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380 Murraysville.
Why do Ordered Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975.Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Tower Auto Sales, the best products, the best selection, the best customer communication, and best service after the sale. Tower Auto Sales, for 40 years, they've been telling you, just buy it. Give them a call. Call Mike Fanto at 412-828-6202. Let's go to the audience again. And Paul, you were a winner last week.
Yes.
We got to talk about some of the prizes, and then you got about 4 or 5 minutes to go on.
I got two, I got one from the auto shop in New Canton.
Oh, Community Auto?
Yes.
Community Auto. I'll tell you what, you get down there and get an oil change, because that's it's pretty close to $25 or so.
And hot dog guys.
Hot dog guys coupon?
Pizza Hut.
Not the Pizza Hut.
No, Fox's, I'm sorry.
All right, Fox's Pizza, Lower Borough.
And I forget the two dining places.
Krause's?
Yes. And one in Oakmont.
And the carnivores.
Right.
Okay, well, he cleaned up last week, folks. He got the Grand Salami, in which he won $100 in prizes, plus the salami, which we are delivering. They're still making it, by the way. It must be a doozy. At Fazio's is where we always pick up the salamis for the winner. So Paul, who's going to talk with us right now, a big winner last week of over $125 in prizes. Paul, let's talk some sports.
About Penn State football, how is Pitt and Penn State going to be this year? Are they going to be contending, or is like Penn State, are they going to just struggle since they have less
Sanctions, less scholarships.
Scholarships, yes. Would that affect them, or will they?
Now, it should. Now, people that know these things say that this year they could go down a little bit further. I think that Bill O'Brien's looking to get out of there as quick as he can, quite frankly, but that's just the sense I get. But, you know, they did very well last year, but they had a lot of seniors, and a lot of those guys were left over from Joe Paterno's recruiting classes. So, you know, he walked into a bad situation on one hand, but he walked into a very strong locker room with a lot of veteran fifth-year senior leaders on it.
Right.
He's not going to have that this year. He's quarterback-wise, we'll see how that works out for him too. But they, you know, I can't imagine they're going to fall off the map too much.
Won't be as bad as SMU back in.
No, not at all. I think that, you know, they're still a bowl team. I think. I think they're still probably good enough to be a bowl team. But on the other hand, if they end up 6-6, I'd be thrilled, and you take a bowl and just deal with it, because they do have a lot of people coming back, but the loss of Shell and really only 2 scholarship running backs, I don't know how you make up for that.
He wanted to come back, Mike.
Yeah, great. And
So we're, what, 4 more years left on probation?
At least.
Yes.
And so, you know, and by the time, I guess, when do they play Pitt? They're going to play Pitt in 16, I think. 2016, 2017, they'll have 4 in a row. And I think that one just may go on. I see West Virginia started up a series with Virginia Tech. You're not going to see Pitt play West Virginia anymore. That's gone.
So Penn State, is that 4 years or 2?
I think it's going to be 4, starting I think in 2016.
All right.
Heck, Joe Pa was even still living when they did that. That was surprising that's how you could tell he didn't have the strong grip on things that he used to, because he would have never let that happen.
Yeah.
So,
do you think Pitt could make the ACC championship game?
No, I really don't. I just don't. Like I said, if they go 6-6, I think they should consider that good. I don't see it now. Can they win the first game against Florida State? Yeah, I think they can.
Right.
But only because Florida State always finds a place to stumble somewhere early in the season to take them out of national. They have good enough players to be a national championship contender, but Jimbo Fisher.
You know, isn't it something how we talk about they can go 6-6, you'll be happy? It's 12 games. When I was younger,
8.
we were looking at 9 games tops. September, October, early in November. Do the Heisman Award,
right?
And then you waited until January 1, and you maybe had 6 bowl games
total.
Yeah, we're up to what? Close to 40?
Yeah, it's
something like that.
It's in the 30s.
Yeah. Hey, folks, Paul, we got to wrap it up.
Paul. Okay. All right.
Anything else on your mind?
Stopping by.
Hey, you're going to find a lot of people willing to share those prizes with you too.
No doubt. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in tonight. Mike, you were going to look up something, or Joe?
No.
You did.
All the time. We were checking on Julio Bourbon. I was just going to, we did that. He was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, Julio Bourbon. How about that? Now, did anyone get that out there? But it didn't. His father was attending Tennessee, and that's when Julio was born. How about that?
And he got a Gibson guitar for Christmas.
He got a Gibson guitar for Christmas, and his pool was in the shape of a guitar.
All right, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We'll see you again next week at the same time, either live on streaming or on Comcast Cable. I'm Bob Tatter.
I'm Mike Pavlik.
Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toretto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Wasavich Family Funeral Homes, Lowellboro in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.